This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, April 1st. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Don't believe anything you read on social media today or anything anybody tells you. It is April Fool's Day, and yes, we are above the April Fool's jokes. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mackenzie, your take on April Fool's jokes in the sports media world, and specifically sports social media.
I'll just give you my personal take, or my personal experience, rather, with April Fool's jokes. And I'm man enough to admit it. They get me very often. Like, more than 50% of years, I'm like, really? Wayne Gretzky is going to play baseball? Maybe when I was 12, that was the story. But PTI got me, like, even though I knew and waited for it, like on March 30th, I thought about it. I think they're fun.
So there was one year when I was a producer at in ESPN Radio in New York. We're talking 2007, 2008, like around there, right? And it was like the Knicks were in the midst of like this playoff push. Like things were like baseball was starting. Like there was a lot of stuff to talk about, right? And we started the show with the ESPN hockey music, right? And we said, nothing but hockey talk for the next 3 hours here as the Rangers take on the Devils, the Islanders. And then it was like, April Fools, all right, let's go. Here we go. Knicks are taking on the Sixers, and let's talk about Knicks basketball,
I wonder, even if longtime fans appreciated it, I'm sure they might have had like a 5% dip if you were looking at the minute to minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, I'm over it. I really hate the people that try and like think that they're funny and make things up on. It's cute to be like, hey, Adam Schefter is going to be the new NBA sideline reporter. Like, yeah. All right, that's a cute one. Let's chalk. Okay, cool. April Fools, right? But like, to say like a player's getting traded or something's going to happen.
I'm terrible with it. I mean, I don't do it on April 1st, but for about 3 years after it happened, if I ever like saw news about a celebrity, I'd be like, Antonio Banderas died in a helicopter crash, and people would hate me for it, but I thought it was funny every time. Because that actually happened one time in my life, and hopefully never again, with someone that everybody knows, and it's like, this person, ... died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, no, the death yeah, stuff. No. Yeah, no. The death stuff and the pregnancy stuff are the ones that bother me the most. Like that's the stuff.
Fair enough. Like, I'm a better person now than 2022.
Yeah, like you don't April Fools stuff like that. Like I used to see people on social media or girls on social media, whatever, like faking pregnancy, and I'm like, do you know how many millions of people like can't get pregnant and like are trying to, and like you're joking about it like it's April Fools? Like I just can't stand that. But let's talk about sports, Mackenzie. There was an interesting article I read yesterday in Yahoo, and I immediately thought of you because I thought that Tom Haberstraw, who's an incredible NBA writer and longtime NBA reporter.
And conspiracy theorist.
Oh, sure. I thought like...
Check out his podcast. It's great.
He was saying like the things that you've been preaching for about a week, maybe more, which is that the NBA has split into two leagues. Okay? And this was the headline from Tom Haberstraw's tweet yesterday. Quote, "A new phenomenon has taken over the NBA. The league has split off into two leagues like never before. One trying to win and one trying to lose." And then here's a snippet I want to read from this. And this, listen, to me, this goes into my solution, which is to create an NBA and an ABA, but that's a different argument for a different day. But Mackenzie, this does not include last night's games, but we'll get to last night's games. Here is from Tom Haberstraw's article on Yahoo. Quote, Here's a summary of the B League teams in recent competition against A League teams. Washington is 0-20 in its last 20. Brooklyn 1-29 in its last 30. Sacramento 1-23 in its last 24. Indiana 2-12 in its last 14. Utah 1-14 in its last 15. Memphis 1-17 in its last 18. Dallas 2-23 in its last 25. Milwaukee 1-12 in its last 13. Chicago 3-17 in its last 20. Aggregate those utterly sad win-loss figures, and you'll find B League teams have posted a dastardly 12-167 record against A League teams across these varying chunks of games. 12 wins and 167 losses. That's almost 15 losses for every win, end quote. Mac, they want to talk about expanding the NBA. Why? So we could have more teams that suck? This is why the league is at an embarrassing, pivotal moment right now.
Well, I got to say, Tom Haberstraw, who I agree with a lot of his takes, I like his contrarian opinion. As a statistician at heart, I got to say that's one of the most disingenuous ways to put together a record, to just take random samples, 15 from this team, 25 from this team. You don't have to be that clever to look at the net ratings of the last month and be like, this is historic stuff. And 1-20 and 1-22 is surprising, but not shocking. If you've been watching the league, it's worse than ever by far. And the thing is, the incentives are the same, essentially. It's just they're being a little more bald-faced about it, which I think is really damning when you think about it, because the Jazz have sucked for 5 years, and they have great fans that sell out all of their tickets. But did Danny Ainge just tell the owner when he joined that they aren't going to win more than 20 games ever, and we're gonna talk to the entire press and work the media to say that the coach is great because he is good, and we're just going to not worry about it for 10 years, like until they get the number one pick in the draft? It's insane. It's not a sensical product. The players are so good, it's fun to watch though.
Yeah, which is why I said if you split it into two leagues, like literally people will still watch. People are still going to go to games, like it's just, they'll still be on TV. It's up to the people to watch. It's just that we have a separation of teams playing for one thing and other teams playing for something else. It's the reason why these Tankapalooza parlays are working, because when these B League teams, like Haberstraw says, plays against the A League teams, they're losing. And what happened last night? Guess what? Hornets beat the Brooklyn Nets. No surprise. Bucks beat the Mavericks, but those are two bad teams, right? And let's look at the schedule for tonight. We're going to see similar things play out, right? Let's see. We have the Pacers and Bulls are both bad teams playing each other.
Every night now there's 15-point favorites.
Yes.
You used to go a week with, it was not that long ago you would go a week without a 15-point favorite.
Yeah. Here we go. Up on FanDuel for tonight. You ready for this? You have the Knicks 15-point favorites over the Grizzlies. The Raptors 14-point favorites over the Kings. The Rockets 17-point favorite over the Bucks. The Nuggets 17-point favorites over the Jazz, and the Spurs 13.5-point favorites over the Golden State Warriors. This is the NBA, and we have multiple games a night that are 14 to 15 to 17-point spreads.
It's ripe for relegation for so many reasons. And it's not just that there's haves and have-nots in the NBA. People aren't playing 80 games. The Bucks should be a lot better if Giannis played 70 games, but he's not playing 70 games. Shea's not playing 70 games. Go down the list of the top 10 players. If there's nobody playing 70 games, it's not just because the players have decided to be lazy and they should roll up their sleeves like their dads did. It's just a different game. No one can run that much. So there should be bigger changes than, we're going to flatten the top 18 with a draw and then you play rock paper scissors. It was an absurd way to say, let's change everything about the math and not change the incentive structure that creates this. There's enough players to play. you can play young players like they do in the Premier League when you get relegated. Sorry, you don't get Trae Young on your team because he's not going to be interested in playing for that. But you might get Jalen Johnson or somebody that's an up-and-comer.
All right, well, tonight also, Mackenzie, we have the Celtics system play intact as the Celtics are coming off a loss at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. They are in Miami to take on the Heat, and up on FanDuel right now, the Boston Celtics 5.5 point favorites over the Miami Heat. Your total is 229.5, and that would mean the team total for the Miami Heat is 111.5. Are we comfortable firing up the Celtics system, meaning playing the Miami Heat team total to go under?
Yes, and I think it's a twofer. I lay the 5.5. There's no place that the Celtics play better than in Miami. And after a loss, Jason Tatum played his best game 2 games ago and then missed the game versus the Hawks. So I expect him to be, their best player. 21, 6, and 5. It's not that worse than Jaylen Brown's number right now. I still think he's, going to be their best player for the playoffs, and he's going to want to show it.
So right now, Celtics, after a loss, they are 18-6 straight up, 16-8 against the spread. The opponent's team total going to the under, Mackenzie, is just like their straight up record, 18-6 this year. The only times that the opponent has gone over their team total. The only time the opponent has gone over the team total, the Orlando Magic, that was a high-scoring game. That was 138-129. Let's see, the Nets actually went over their team total when they scored 111
the Celtics
points.
Scored 145.
Yeah, exactly. The Raptors went over their team total, scoring 117. The Pistons went over their team total, scoring 119. Earlier, the Miami Heat, this was in Boston, though, went over their team total, scoring 116. They went over by 3 points. And then
It's been a road series forever.
And then the Jazz went over their team total by just 1.5 points back in December as well. Those are the only 6 times that a team has gone over their team total in this Celtics system. So we're 18-6 straight up, right. The Celtics, 18-6 to the opponent's team total going under. Let's go Miami Heat team total under 111.5. Obviously, shop around. You never know if the total moves up. You might get a 112.5 here or there. So definitely see if you can get a better number on that. But going back to the well with this system, would you do the Tankapalooza parlay tonight, Mac?
I can't see any of these teams. I mean, obviously the Bulls, Pacers. I think you throw that out. So
yeah, would you include Sixers 15.5 point favorites over the Wizards?
Yes, that's a have and a have not, regardless of who's playing. Just like we saw with the Pistons, Sixers are. I would say. That's minus 1,600, so it's like what? Okay, 8%.
So your 6-leg Tankapalooza parlay.
The books are adjusting fast and as hard as they can. I mean, there's 2 1,700 point favorites in this parlay.
Yep. It's Sixers money line, Knicks money line, Raptors money line.
But why not do? Honestly, this is going to win. Sixers. Rockets.
It's Sixers, Knicks, Raptors, Rockets, Nuggets, and Spurs. And up on
all
FanDuel,
the 10-point favorites are going to win. They're actually going to win, so it'll not be that much of a sweat, even though
up on FanDuel, Mackenzie minus 154.
154 for 8 teams. All right, throw the Celtics on there because I think they win too. So you're good.
Whoa! You throw the Celtics on there, it's plus.
I just told you I like to play. So if you're already filling out a 19 parlay, you might as well win it.
So 7 legs plus 144.
Like it. That's a lock. That's the play that I want.
Well, tonight, college basketball, the tournaments resume. And no, not the NCAA tournament. No, the NIT doesn't get back until tomorrow. Not talking about the CBI, but the college basketball crown, Mackenzie, begins here in Las Vegas tonight. 2 games at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Oklahoma takes on Colorado with the Sooners, a 9.5 point favorite, and Baylor against Minnesota with Baylor a 3.5 point favorite. Tomorrow we have 2 more games, Stanford, West Virginia, Rutgers, and Creighton. Now the play here for these games tonight.
Yes, sir.
And we've already played these. is the overs. We are on both overs tonight, up on FanDuel, looking at game 1 here of the college basketball crown. It's crazy, right? I mean, all these tournaments, right? Oklahoma, Colorado, 165.5. Baylor, Minnesota, 148.5. Again, we are on both overs. So here's the research that I did looking at last year's college basketball crown here in Las Vegas. In the first round, the overs went 5-3. The first 4 games went over. And then there was a book adjustment, and so you had then go 1-3 to the under in the second 4 games, right? But you had 4-0 for the first 4 games going over. I looked at every game and every average for last year's college basketball crown. Each team in all of the games averaged 78 points per game. Only 4 games out of the 15 games last year did the winning team score less than 80 points. So if you can just, if you want to just do team totals, maybe you can do that. If you're saying that, hey, Oklahoma's a 9.5 point favorite, I think they're going to win. Let's go Oklahoma team total over. If you're going to do maybe if you want to say, hey, I want to bet the favorite here in Baylor, Minnesota team total over, whatever you want to do. Only 4 games out of the 15 games last year did the winning team not score 80 points, and every team in all games averaged 78 points last year. We're going overs here in Vegas, college basketball crown.
I want to say it's not technically a lock my 7-game NBA parlay. I really should say that.
You're clarifying that now?
I meant that in a kind of facetious way.
Okay. What are your thoughts on going the overs here in the college basketball crown games?
Well, there are no locks. Let me be clear. But yeah, let's keep cashing with that play.
I just feel like because this tournament means nothing, that
yeah, exactly. There's
not going to play
postseason,
defense.
and then there's the offseason. This is an offseason tournament.
They're not
Makes
playing
total sense.
They're not playing defense. These kids are just out here having fun. Like they're on TV.
Maybe they'll impress somebody if they score 30 points, and next year they'll be in the double NCAA tournament.
Exactly. And I guess what do they? Do they win NIL money or something? I don't even know. It's just
they win my respect by cashing my bet.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go overs here, college basketball crown. All right, let's get to Major League Baseball and the NHL real quick. Last night took a bad beat. Our only loss of the night last night went 4-1 for Better Day Insider and Premium members. Our only loss was Jacob deGrom making his season debut for the Texas Rangers. We had him over 14.5 outs recorded. Mackenzie, deGrom was dealing going into the 5th inning. Got the first 2 outs of the bottom of the 5th inning in Baltimore. So he is at 14 outs recorded. And then he gives up a single. Okay. Next batter has 2 strikes on him. Slow ground ball to shortstop. Seager makes the backhanded play, throws it to second for the force out, but the runner beats it because the runner got a great lead and it was a slow ground ball. So what are you going to do? Runner beats it. Next batter, Wyatt Langford hits a screaming liner to left field, or Gunnar Henderson hits a screaming liner to left field. Wyatt Langford, the left fielder, misjudges it. Ball goes over his head for a double. Score tied at 3. Rangers pulled deGrom from the game, and that was all she wrote. His line was 14.5. He only recorded 14 outs. That's a bad beat.
That's the hook right there. That's what they call the hook.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's a bad beat when he gets the first 2 outs of the inning, and it's not even a sweat. And so there's 2 outs and nobody on base, and I just got to get 1 out? Are you kidding me? And he, by the way, they pulled him with only 79 pitches. So it's not like he was at 97 or 100 pitches, 79 pitches when they pulled him from the game. So that was a tough one there. But a couple of big strikeout numbers last night. We had Kodai Senga over 4.5 for the New York Mets. Could have laddered that baby. Kodai Senga had 9 strikeouts for the Mets last night. Kind of wish we did a little ladder play on that. Let's take a look at the schedule for tonight in Major League Baseball. We actually have a couple of day games, actually, and this is where we want to explore, Mackenzie, our sweep systems. So here's what's going on in your schedule for today. for teams that might be looking to avoid the 3-game sweep. Again, the numbers this season: 4-5 straight up, 6-3 on the run line, 7-2 to the under in these games. So here's the games that qualify for today. It is the Orioles and the Rangers, and the Red Sox and the Astros. So the Orioles looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Texas Rangers. It'll be Nate Eovaldi going for the Rangers and Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Orioles. And then it's the Red Sox trying to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Houston Astros. Actually, the Red Sox, who have lost 4 straight games after their win on opening day. And the only pitcher that got that win was Garrett Crochet on opening day, and he's on the mound today against Mike Burrows for the Astros. So I like the Red Sox to win, and we like the Orioles to win here, looking to avoid the sweeps, Mackenzie.
So what do we? It was 4-5, and we haven't had a sweep since, so it's 4-5.
Yeah, it's 4-5, and because remember, it's only going to be Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays are really when these 3-game sweeps are going to happen, right? And also, that 4-5 number includes the ones that we didn't play, which is like the Rockies and the White Sox, so that's just all numbers this year. I'm going to play both of these. We're going to go with the Orioles to avoid the sweep, and we're going to go with the Red Sox to avoid the sweep here on Wednesday.
Yeah, because they're real teams. There's no White Sox, no real tanking team involved.
Yes, exactly. Real teams. And then we'll keep an eye, obviously, for tomorrow's schedule on Thursday, where a couple of other series might be concluding, but really a lot of series are concluding here today because it's a very light schedule tomorrow. There's only, I think, 4 games on the schedule for tomorrow as more series will begin the second weekend of the Major League Baseball season coming up on Friday. In the NHL, the season is coming down to the wire. Sunday is when we're really focused on our final chance to play both teams on the no-rest system. But tonight, you have 3 games on the schedule. The Canucks visit the Avalanche. Colorado minus 440, Mac. Minus 440. I'm going to ask you, what do you think the record is for teams in the NHL that are minus 400 favorites or greater? Let's go back to the 2023 season. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a negative play, even worse than the VIG. I think they're going to be overrated. So I don't think the 440 or the 85% that implies is right. I'm going to say they are how many games?
Well, since the start of the 2023 season, there has been 62 games, minus 400 or greater.
44-18.
57-5 straight up.
Not bad. That's pretty good. I'm sure that's profitable.
On the puck line, though, 39-23. So it is slightly profitable on the puck line. Let's take a look. Let's just shorten this. Let's go with let's see this season
is profitable. It's profitable straight up too, right? 57-5, or is it not?
Yeah. Yes, very profitable straight up.
It's got to be.
Even though you're laying a monster number.
90%er.
Yeah, it's crazy. This season, it's happened 3 times. 3-0, both straight up, and 3-0, both on the puck line.
Man, I want to bet against the Avalanche here. They're 8 points ahead in the league. Why do they have to win this game? They don't have to win this game.
All 3 games, by the way, this year that it has been a minus 400 favorite, it was the Colorado Avalanche.
They're pretty good.
Just saying. Just saying. Your other games on the schedule for tonight, it is the Blues at the Kings, and the Ducks visit the San Jose Sharks. If you missed yesterday's live stream by Colby Marchio and Jake Hassan, you can catch it on the Better Day Twitter page or Better Day YouTube. Also, streaming on this podcast feed, you can go listen to yesterday's episode of Off the Board, a podcast brought to you by BetterDay.com. Our MLB Game Center is now exclusively for Better Day Insider and Premium members. To learn how you can elevate your betting game by becoming a Better Day Insider or Premium member, just click on the link on our homepage at BetterDay.com. In a couple of days, or I guess maybe in like another week or so, the MLB Game Center will be using only 2026 data. So right now we're using kind of a blend of 2025 data, some spring training StatCast numbers, and 2026 data. once we get more than 10 games into the regular season, then eventually 20 games into the regular season, it will only be using 2026 data, of course. And once we get to that point, Mackenzie, we will be including game projections, meaning not just player prop projections, but also final score projections, so you can find the edge in the line and the edge in the game total. That's all coming for Better Day Insider and Premium members up on the MLB Game Center on betterday.com. Our NBA Game Center is still up and running. Find your prop edges in the player prop market, game projections as well, all powered by Dunks and Threes estimated plus minus. Follow us on social media wherever you can. And for Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.